Asia, can you hear me there okay?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can see you. Thank you for taking the time. Powerful YouTube original content that you put up. How long did you have to keep it a secret that you were working on that?
Oh my gosh. Since June.
Really?
Yeah, it was a long time.
Wow. So in your case, you're not only being your charismatic self on camera, fans of your channel see that all the time, but you also have to prepare for interviews. Was that the hardest part of it, doing the research, or did you kind of know everything already?
What's interesting is that this is a topic that I've been wanting to explore for a really, really long time. And I've been studying up on cultural appropriation for years, like ever since I was in high school. And so I kind of already knew a lot about it. I knew a lot about the discourse that people were having online, but we did tap into some scholars and academics just for, accuracy. We didn't want to put out a series that was inaccurate. So it was kind of like a team effort, I guess.
Yeah, June to December. That's a long time. That's almost like an album.
Yeah.
So was there a lot more filmed than was used for it?
Oh, definitely, definitely. There were a lot of really great conversations that we had in the panel and in the street interviews, but because of time, they wanted it to be under 30 minutes and things like that. So a lot of it had to get cut out, but I wish that we could like post everything like on its own. You know what I mean? That would have been really cool.
Well, can you? I mean, hey, in this day and age of BTS, not the boy band, the behind the scene course abbreviation, people like to put out outtakes and B-roll over time. So maybe there is hope on that end.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe we can talk to the YouTube team and see what's possible.
So did you know outright everything that was going to be said in the interviews? I asked that because some people script their interviews. Maybe a handler says, we need all these questions and we're going to make them look organic. Then other times people go, I trust you, let it go.
Yeah, it was kind of a combination of both. Our director, who was amazing, her name is Evelyn. She's an Asian woman from New York City. She was also really interested in this conversation. And so we kind of worked together to see which questions we wanted to hit, what questions we wanted to ask our guests in the panel and also ask, the kids on the street. But also just like having conversations with people, sometimes the conversation just naturally goes in a different direction than what you intended and something really amazing happens. So it was kind of like a combination of both.
Did your director for that episode work on the other ones, or did everyone like a serial style get their own part and then they put the whole series together?
Just this one. Yeah.
Did you get to see any of the other episodes as you were making or get any guidance on that end? Or this is original, this is you, this is Asia's turf, forget what everyone else is doing?
Yeah. So this is actually just a pilot episode and hopefully it does go to series. But when YouTube came to me back in like June, they offered to, make any sort of project that I wanted to. And like I said, I've always been interested in this conversation. So I knew I wanted to do like a documentary sort of series on, different trends. Like, where did they come from? We always see it online on the internet, but like, where do these trends really come from? And so I pitched this idea to the YouTube Originals team and they loved the idea. And I was really grateful. And that's kind of how it came together. Yeah.
So you are your own industry in this point of your career. You have great acting credits. You are an entrepreneur otherwise, but it seems like you are calling your own shots at this point in time that you're going, that sounds interesting, I'll do it, as opposed to waiting for the phone to ring.
Yeah, see, that's what's so interesting about the difference between like being a content creator and being an actor. When you're an actor, you literally have to wait for someone to hire you. But as a content creator, you could literally just make whatever you want. I mean, obviously, I had the help of the YouTube Originals team for this one, but like all of the other stuff that I'm doing online and on my using my platforms online, I'm kind of just creating it on my own. And that type of content is what got the attention of the YouTube Originals team in the first place. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting, like the difference between the two industries. But I'm just really grateful that women, especially women of color, are, able to have platforms and be able to turn that into a career.
When exactly, and this is putting you on the spot here, but when exactly did you start to see the tide turn that women of color would have great opportunities like this? And in general, you didn't have to wait around for a casting person to go, yes, no, and that you can call your own shots.
Yeah, I think it was around, I want to say like 2017. I started my YouTube channel in 2016, literally because I was waiting. I was tired of waiting for someone to hire me on the acting side. And I was like, I have to do something else. Like, I have to use my creative energy for something else. And then a year into it, I got about 100,000 subscribers. And I started noticing how many offers were coming my way just because of that. And I knew that I had to keep creating, and I knew how, it was just really fulfilling to be able to use my own voice. In acting, someone's literally putting words in your mouth, which can be great depending on the project. But, as a human being, sometimes we want to like have our own voice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when you have that many subscribers, I'd have to imagine it's almost a full-time job keeping up with the comments and the DMs.
Hmm. Yeah, sometimes they're not very kind, but you know what it is.
Well, sometimes those come from spam factories, even where something that I found was the first time I got a comment that it was along these lines, I thought it was organic. It was something like, very underrated channel. You should have more subscribers. And you go, oh, yeah, maybe I should. And then you get an almost matching one from another Ken. You realize, oh, that's a person that wants you to write back on, how can I get more subscribers so I can hire you?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
the spam comments are really funny sometimes.
so in your case, though, it sounds like you're in the great position of being able to say no to things and choosing the projects that you care about, as opposed to, hey, Asia, we want you to go on this trip to this place and take 5 selfies in front of it, and then maybe we'll pay you for it.
Right. Yeah. I think that's where every influencer wants to get to. I think, you know, not having the choice to do what you want to do with your career is what brings a lot of people to this industry and to this career. So I really value freedom in my life. And so I really value freedom in my career. And I think it's just really great that all of these platforms are giving people like me a way to make a living while still maintaining our creative freedom.
Yeah. So are you allowed to say what's next? I know sometimes when you're on a junket and you can only talk about this project because that's the only project you ever worked on. But are you allowed to say what's next, or are you under deadline.com embargoes and NDAs and all that stuff?
There are a few things that I cannot talk about yet, but one thing that I can talk about because it just released like a week ago is I recently collaborated with an Asian female owned streetwear brand called Uprisers that's available exclusively at PacSun. So that collection is out right now. I'm wearing it, but yeah, I can finally talk about that now.
So does that mean that's another job title you have to add to your bio when they say, hey, actress, entrepreneur, influencer, YouTube personality? Do you now have to go designer?
I mean, I would love to do that, but I feel like it's kind of weird to just like have all these titles. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Weird or awesome? I spoke with somebody yesterday who was is super famous for selling millions upon millions of records, but I think singer is maybe the sixth thing in there. I think it was something like actor, game designer, I'm pretty sure was in there, uh, producer, philanthropist was in there too. And then it's like, and singer. And so I don't know if the order of it, there's a strategy to it. How do you like to be thought of in general? Do you have that? If when you have to make small talk, you're stuck on that flight with the person next to you and they go, so what do you do? What do you usually say?
Oh my God, I hate this question because I never know how to answer it. But usually, like to give people like the condensed version, I will literally just say like actor and content creator. But when I am like speaking to another industry person, I really like to say like all the other stuff because, content creator and actor isn't all that I do. eventually I do want to go into directing and filmmaking, and those are things that I'm also really interested in. So I would love to add those to my job titles as well.
Hmm. When you want to get out of that conversation, the term that people I know they use raconteur because it sounds like a fancy term, even though it's meant to like belittle what you do. And you go, oh, I'm just a hype salesman person that doesn't know what they're doing. But the reality is those are the people that are actually doing a lot of stuff. So if I hear you in the near future saying, well, as a raconteur, I will know what the deal is. But Asia, my last question for you. Besides watching your content, do you have a TV or film recommendation that you could pass along to someone who needs a new show to start?
Ooh, oh my gosh, this is such a good question. I think the
every
last,
now and then I get one of those out there. I put a good question into the world. It doesn't happen often, so I appreciate that one. Thank you.
yeah, sometimes you do your job, you know what I'm saying? Um, the last series that I watched was Dope Sick on Hulu. It's about the opioid crisis and like how it
Michael
started.
Keaton. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Michael Keaton, and I never knew any of that was in that series, and so it was really enlightening, and I think it really humanized addiction and the people who go through it and how it affects communities. I thought it was really great.
Any comedies, or some people don't like comedies, but do you also have a comedy pick? Because somebody watches Dope Sick, which is a great, brilliant show, they might come away from that going, I need a palate cleanser here, putting you on the spot.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I love K-dramas. I know this probably isn't the right answer, but I love romantic comedies, and I think K-dramas do a really great job at like melding those two together. So one of my favorites of all time is Crash Landing on You. It's about this heiress who goes on a paragliding trip, and she accidentally lands in North Korea. So it's a really great, it's like half drama, half comedy. It's really great. I would highly recommend it.
That was off my radar, so I'm glad I got that one. I'll pass along to the wife. We'll see if it passes the muster. I'm sure it will. But thank you so much for your time, and really looking forward to what's next. You kind of want people who are entertaining yet putting meaningful projects out in the world, and that's what you've been doing. So keep it up.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Paltrocast.